Well, I hope you guys brought some snacks. How's it going? Welcome to class. Well, you guys can come over here. A little up, way up. Like what's his name used to say? Well, I hope that woke you up. So bring snacks to class. That's a prerequisite. Beep beep. Hey Steve-O, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi Trey. Heading to Salem, Massachusetts for Salem Mules Day tomorrow. Nice. Ring out. Awesome, Trey. Spirit boxes, nice. You want to talk to some pilgrims or some witches? And yes, Linda, I'm not sleeping. You are sleeping. So welcome to the show, guys. This is just a chat show. Got anybody here? We got four here. That's awesome. Hey, Paula Shields, how you doing? So this is just a chat session and all that. Might do some Google Earth. Look at some mud fossils. I love looking at the mud fossils, especially on the screen here. It really shows up cool. I love the colors of them. It's awesome. See, we found a corpulite. Love this thing. I don't know who doesn't like it. There's nothing not to like about a few million-year-old poop, right? And look at the colors. Could you imagine polishing that up? What it would look like? It would be beautiful. That's right, Scotty boy. How you doing? It's not the quantity, it's the quality. That's right. So it's Saturday night. I came back from a little bit of a hike. My daring wife went through the ravine with me. She's a pretty adventurous young lady, so she'll do it. Hey, Desert Rose. Came home. I had a nap, so I'm all refreshed for class. So hopefully I won't sleep through it. I figure you guys can stay here and keep me awake until class. At around 9:30 most nights, my wife turns into a pumpkin, and that's it. So, and I'm the night owl. So yeah, I'll hang out with you guys for a while. No, Scotty boy, not today was good, but other days haven't been. And me and my wife were talking about that today, actually. It's Saturday, Paula. Let me show you. Let me get something for you. Be back in a second here. Now, Scotty boy, did you ever get the Electrosmart onto your phone? If you did, you would know what's going on and why. Yep. I would agree, Scotty boy, or Desert Rose. Everyone was a little different. Everyone seems somewhat off. And it's been like that for about a week or two in my area. And I will show you why. Okay, so if you look here, what you'll see is the numbers for the days. Okay, those are the averages over the day. And what they're doing is they're hitting us with a high in a 71, and then they're dropping down to 69, 66. So they go seven. You can see there 70 down to 66. That has a major effect. What happens, it seems, is 70s will cause illness. In some areas, depends on what you're used to, of course. But if they sustain it at a 70s and plus in my area, people generally get sick. What they're doing right now is they're not making people sick, they're making them agitated. And this has been going on for a couple of weeks, probably since about the subway shooting in New York. And so they're adding to the agitation level. Hey, sweet Polly, of people. That's right, B. Freeman. You're all sleeping. Yeah, I mean, your average 70 and 60. Yeah, it's the big drops. Those cause, like, your body can't get used to it. And that causes agitation and sleepiness and a host of other things. Last week, yeah. They've been doing it for about 2 weeks in my area, Sweet Polly. But I imagine they've been doing it in other areas as well. It seems to broadcast right across my city what they're doing. So you're awake? Okay. Hi, Libra Moon. I have to give my wife's phone back. Hi, Paul from Newcastle. Awesome. Good to see you. I'll be back in a sec. Come on, Max. I'm going this way. That's right, Scotty boy. It's the extreme highs and lows. They'll agitate your system, right? It won't cause necessarily, well, it will cause illness, not anything immediate. Maybe it's been a few weeks. I think they're targeting, yeah, with the frequency. Well, with some people, I think, Paulie, if you just keep it up, right? And these people seem to have visits from 3-lettered agencies in a short time prior to their episodes, we'll call them. And that seems to have something to do with it. Now, there are ways to intoxicate people to make them go mad, to cause them to have physical ailments and other things. And these jokers have been working with poisons and other stuff for a long time. And I'm wondering if maybe all they do is give these people the right toxin, because they all seem to be on antipsychotic medication. You can't stay? Aw. And they're all, one guy was coming off it. He had just gotten off his antipsychotic medication. And that helps it as well. Hey, Lucky, yeah, I think maple injection should help most people, unless you're doing antipsychotic medication. Are you going to stay, Marlena? Oh, I don't know if she can. I bet you'll dose yourself, B. Freeman. Yeah, I wish too, Marlena. I hope you have a good night. What's that, Metayarb? How you doing, buddy? Where is my free F-150 and AR-15? Yeah, I'm coming down from. I want my Obama gun. Where's my Obama gun? Right? I have ass face to deal with. Oh, yeah. Did they ever recover the shell casings? I bet they haven't done that. Yeah, it is sometimes. Marlena is busy at night a lot. She's got work. We all got to do that every once in a while, you know, or all the time for some. I think they're putting things in street drugs as well that allow them to operate with enhanced capabilities on certain targets. Could be. Eighth sphere. Well, you got to give me something, or, you know, give me something about it. I don't like doing cold leads like that. You know that. But for you, I'll do it. In Dante's Inferno, part of the Divine Comedy, Malbolge is the eighth circle of hell, roughly translated in Italian, means evil ditches. It's a large funnel-shaped cavern. It's divided into 10 concentric circles, trenches, or ditches. Interesting. I know, Desert Rose. You're cooking. Awesome. Yeah, here in Canada, they've legalized fentanyl for use. So that's going to be interesting because they're already putting it in a lot of things, meth and others. So it's going to get crazy in Canada, I think. Yeah, when will people see? I don't know, Scotty boy. They're starting to, but it's taking time. Yeah, it's all right if you just want to listen. I do like interaction, but I found it last night when my body is exhausted and I tried to do class that I go all over the place. Yeah, I was pretty tired yesterday too. Been like that for a couple weeks. So. What's crazier, Metayarp? Yeah, crazier. That's right. I'm expecting it to get much crazier. Yeah. We've got criminals running in the streets like crazy now. New York, they released just an example. Like in New York, they released a young boy who had shot a cop to death. I don't know if he shot him to death, but he shot him. They released him like the next day. They just didn't do anything, you know. Okay, we got you, Linda. They fluorinated the water pretty much, yeah, in the United States, if not all of it. Yeah, just make everybody drug addicts. Yeah, why not, Sweet Polly? It occurred to me today that Earth is likely a place where angels and demons are forged. Could be. When you wake up with 7 dwarfs around your bed, you've had too much sleep. Now they broke in my seal. I'm starting to get myself back together. I'm starting to work a lot more, and my body is getting exhausted. Yeah. Now that I've broken your seal. Huh. Okay. All right, Polly. You can project anything you want. I don't mind. I think that the evil in the world is the manifestation of others. Unfortunately, it interacts with our reality. That's a damn shame. No, well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could use some fentanyl beef. You're in quite a lot of pain, right? So, yeah, I bet it worked. It's elephant tranquilizer. Yeah, they did, Steve-O. They legalized it. I've suddenly seen. Oh, jeez. I hope you're feeling better, Paula. That's terrible. Get up and take a walk around. Get some snacks. That's an interesting idea there, Polly. If you don't have an air fryer and you have room for one, I highly recommend. My mom bought me a combo air fryer steamer. I can bake steam anything in 20. Yeah, I've heard they're awesome, Linda. It's hard to keep up with all the shit. I have to pick my battles and let others go. Yeah, yeah, it is hard to keep up with it, Scotty boy. There is so much going on. And then we've got to watch, we're trying to keep our eye on other countries, what they're doing, on all these NGOs, on our own government. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, right, Mediarb. It's borders don't matter except to us, right? You haven't used it yet. Oh, wow. Live on an island, same shit here. Yeah, right, Mediarb. Yeah, that's that's the problem. B. Freeman, it's a certain dose or it's death, right? You got a headache, Paula? Paula does tend to get headaches. Oh, you like that manifestation? Yeah. We affect the areas around us more and the areas out from us less, at least in my opinion. You could win a battle but lose the war when you could just keep moving. I use my air fryer every day. Edward, how you doing? Never been good at taking orders. No, me neither, Steve-O. Oh, maybe B. Freeman, but I think it's a cruel trick being played on us by the governments. They're the ones that let the drugs in, right? Everybody knows that. They're the ones that make the money off of it. Pain clinics are a joke. They purposely try. Yeah, exactly. Percocets and narco. Yeah, and OxyContin uh, was tested first on the indigenous people of North America up here in Canada, and they found it to be highly addictive. So they had to do some finagling to get it past legislation and regulations, just so that they could get it out because they knew it was so addictive and they wanted that. So, come on, Max. You coming up? Hi. You want to say hi to all your fans? Say hi. Look up there. Yeah, look up there. That's probably the best you get. I just want to layer of the flickering frequency propaganda, all is combined. The machine, yeah. Yes, it is, Steve-O. There's a lot of people considering suicide right now, and it's because of this. They're doing it to us. I've had to fight feelings of anger, feelings of sadness over the past 2 weeks. It's been, it's been unusual. I don't like it, right? Yeah, your sister? Oh, wow. Oh, nice. I'm glad she woke up, sweet Polly. Yeah, if you have UN cops, and that's a declaration of war. Yeah, that's what they want, Mediarb, is they want you to decide to kick off. And that's helping them win the war. It'll create a dystopia for all the humans to come. And it'll create a dystopia for them as well. So stick with us, Mediarb. There is a better world on the other side. If we can win this war and take it back, I'd like to show you guys something, actually, just a short video. Let me pull it up here. There's a copy of it here. Give me a second. Okay, let's see. Please.
Internal medicine physician. I've practiced medicine for 21 years, and my background is mostly academic, internal medicine, hospital-based, clinical research, and medical education. I am going to skip many of the things I wanted to say because I didn't realize it was only 5 minutes. Wireless radiation has biological effects, period. This is no longer a subject for debate when you look at PubMed and the peer-reviewed literature. These effects are seen in all life forms: plants, animals, insects, microbes. In humans, we have clear evidence of cancer now. There is no question. We have evidence of DNA damage, cardiomyopathy, which is the precursor of congestive heart failure, neuropsychiatric effects. So 5G is not a conversation about whether or not these biological effects exist. They clearly do. 5G is a conversation about unsustainable healthcare expenditures. Why do I say this? We've been sitting on the evidence for EMR and chronic disease for decades. And now we're seeing all these epidemics appearing. So diabetes is the first epidemic. I think most of you know the statistics. They're very scary. 1 in 3 American children will become diabetic in their lifetime, and if they're Hispanic females, the number is 1 in 2. So what does this have to do with wireless radiation? Wireless radiation and other electromagnetic fields, such as magnetic fields and dirty electricity, have been clearly associated with elevated blood sugar and diabetes.
They might, Steve.
That is what the peer-reviewed literature says. It is not opinion. The closer you live to a cell tower, the higher your blood glucose. That is based on hemoglobin A1C measurements. So the idea with small cells of putting the cells closer to people's homes and bedrooms scientifically is very dangerous. And from an economic perspective, it's dangerous. And you may not know this. I was shocked to find this out. But the way you create a model of diabetes in rats in the lab is by exposing them to 2.4 gigahertz. And this is not for long-term exposure.
Right, Polly.
So I don't have time to talk about the costs, but the huge problem with diabetes really is chronic kidney disease. End-stage renal disease, the worst complication of diabetes, leads to hemodialysis. Hemodialysis is an automatic qualification for Medicare. And if you don't qualify for Medicare, we still have to dialyze the patient. And the state ends up paying in many different instances. So renal failure is 1% of Medicare, but it takes up 7% of all Medicare expenditures. I don't have time to talk about this anymore, but once again, so the other epidemics that clearly link from the science with electromagnetic radiation are related to mental health. And this is straight from PubMed. This isn't my opinion. This is science. Okay.
But for those of us who aren't physicians, what is PubMed?
I'm sorry. It's just it's our National Library of Medicine. This is where you would go. This is just the peer-reviewed literature. So we have 3 epidemics that clearly, they're essentially one epidemic. We have deterioration of mental health in the United States. And if you look really at the science, what does it show? And these epidemics are suicide epidemic, epidemics in shootings, and the opioid epidemic. And I don't have 5 minutes is not the time to talk about this. This is in the peer-reviewed literature. I have a file to submit for the record, but these are facts. These are things that have just been glossed over by the wireless industry. And I really don't have time to talk about them in 5 minutes. I wish I did. But we need to examine our epidemics in the context of our EMF exposures. What does that mean? That means that the CDC tracking these epidemics we need to start measuring how much radiation are people being exposed to. And before we roll out 5G, and this means there are 4 kinds of electromagnetic fields that we know are harmful to human health. So radio frequency radiation, magnetic fields, dirty electricity, and electric fields, okay? Our exposure, any given person, and all humans are affected by EMFs. Our given exposure has nothing to do with the research that my colleagues are going to cite with the National Toxicology Program. That is an assessment of the risk of 1 cell phone in the near field, okay? What is our exposure in a day? It's not 1 cell phone. It's cell phones, it's multiple wireless networks, it's smart meters, it's cell towers. It's this sandwich, and it all adds up. And this is a serious problem for occupational health, public safety, and personal safety. And I feel that it's irresponsible to be even talking about the Internet of Things and rolling out a new untested technology when we're not even measuring what are our current exposures from the current
she's
networks.
Definitely on to something.
Appreciate your testimony. Would you again provide us with your credentials? You said at the beginning. Yes,
I'm an MD. I'm board certified in internal medicine.
She won't be for long.
I've been assistant professor at different medical schools, mostly in New York, most recently the University of Miami. And I got interested in electromagnetic fields after my administrator at the University of Miami gave me a new iPhone. I used it for 20 minutes on speaker, and my finger was burning at the end of the call. So that was years ago. I started reading about the science and connecting with other scientists, and really my expertise, I've taken care of a lot of patients with chronic disease. So when I talk about diabetes and, for instance, heart failure, that, the National Toxicology Program shows clear evidence of cardiomyopathy in that study. In other words, that's a precursor to congestive heart failure. And I want to just read one thing, if you'll allow me. This is from the United States Renal Data System, Healthcare Expenditures for Persons with Chronic Kidney Disease. So over half of the 2015 Medicare spending for beneficiaries aged 65 and
I don't
older
know, Scotty
was
boy.
for those who had diagnoses of CKD, diabetes mellitus, or heart failure. All three of these conditions, when you look as an independent scientist, not someone who's funded by wireless, all of those three conditions are linked. So diabetes and heart failure are linked with EMF exposures. It's very clear.
Doctor, what are your trained medical professional?
Yes.
We don't have one on the panel. What are we to make of the American Cancer Society, for example, telling us there's no evidence of harmful product?
Well, at this point, there's a national and international 5G appeal. I don't know how many thousands of people have signed, but the point is that many of these organizations have conflicts of interest, and I can't speak to, I don't know who's on their board, who made these decisions. My testimony comes from, I've been reading this literature for years. And really, I got interested in it because I spent my career taking care of so many patients who were sick in the hospital that when I found out about the links, I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it. So I've read these articles myself, and the experts who don't work for telecom and who are in their independent research, everyone comes to the same conclusion. This isn't, we're not in a place where we should be debating this anymore. This is exactly what happened with tobacco. It's the exact same thing. And really, right now, the only people protecting, the only people who are able to protect Americans are our legislators, because we don't have any relevant regulatory guidelines to protect human health. The FCC guidelines were developed for short-term exposures, 6 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on it's a phone or an outdoor exposure. And they have absolutely no connection to the biological effects that have been very clearly summarized in the Bio Initiative. Yeah. That's a huge document generated. All of the summaries are there. I've got it here for you if anyone wants to read it. I have
They don't want to
very
read it.
concise summaries and abstracts documenting everything that I'm saying. So I know there are plenty of people here that are probably rolling their eyes, but in academic medicine, we have a name for what's happening now with 5G. This is called, and what has happened with wireless communication, this is called, 5G is an untested application of a technology that we know is harmful.
They know.
We know it from the science. This is in academics, this is called human subjects research. Human subjects research is very tightly regulated. You can't just roll out some type of a research project on human beings unless A, you have their informed consent, so they understand the risks and benefits, and B, you have the approval, like someone has actually, examined the literature and said, okay, this research project, we believe that it's safe. There's no evidence in the science to indicate that it would not be safe. We have decades of evidence to show it is not safe.
Thank you, Dr. Goldberg.
Thank you.
And very briefly, if you can, what do you mean by conflict of interest?
I mean that, so I taught, one of the things I taught in medical school is evidence-based medicine. So teaching medical students and residents how to critically evaluate the literature, the science. And one of the first things that you teach residents, you always have to look at the funding. So, and you can read about it. Marcia Engel, the editor of New England Journal, just wrote a great op-ed in the New York Times about researchers who are funded by private industry. The results of their research are much more likely to support whatever it is that is being funded. That's clear.
Representative Garrett has a question.
Yes.
Good morning, doctor. Just a really quick question. What is the normal RMF that individual could be exposed to? And if these small cells are installed, what is the prediction of how much RMF the human body would experience? And then the second question would be, if we know that RMF is a issue, do we limit the amount of exposure that somebody with cardio issues in the hospitals, whether they're going through a CAT scan or so. Are we limiting that because we know that just small cells alone is not the issue? It's, as you talked about earlier, it's the sandwich. So give me the normal levels, what the prediction is that the human body would experience moving forward.
Well, I'm so glad that you're asking that question. And the answer is that, well, no one's measuring. And that is the problem. That's the problem. Because we have, and I the way I think about this is in an occupational health perspective. I think about, because people go to work and so for instance, your exposure will depend on what you do in a given day. So if one cell phone causes cancer, clear evidence of cancer, DNA damage, heart damage, well, what happens if you work at an airport? What happens if you work in a stadium where there are 100,000 people coming to watch a football game and everyone's using their phone at the same time? And so the problem is that we have a very, very systematic, clear, empiric way to measure these exposures, and it's a discipline called building biology. And we actually have someone here trained in building biology, and I asked him to bring the meters. If anyone after this meeting is interested, I can show anyone exactly how we measure. Okay? But that is the problem, that we don't measure, and there are certain situations relevant to public safety where we really do need to be measuring. With firefighters, with airline pilots. Because when you activate microwave radiation inside an enclosed metal space, you get amplification, you have increased power density. So think about it, an airplane, everyone's with their devices, every device is emitting radiation, and the access point is right next to the cockpit usually. So what does this do to pilots? What does this do to firefighters? We already have a submission to the FCC from Susan Foster about firefighters that were unable to function in the line of duty. This is from 2013 after exposure to a cell tower that was put up near their station, and they also have two-way communication devices that they wear. So we have to measure these exposures. That is the start, and not go ahead and roll out a whole bunch of Internet of Things with more devices that we're not even measuring what we're exposed to now.
Doctor, thanks for your testimony.
Thank you.
So hi guys, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, Max?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I didn't even put in a link. How'd you get up here?
I pushed the link.
Okay.
Actually, it's the first time. I didn't know this phone does this shit.
I didn't even know there was a link. I don't
Yeah,
see
it's
a link.
StreamYard.
Okay.
Actually, what that girl was talking, man. This is actually where I think the truth community I was hoping would be by now.
You would hope. But,
Right.
it's taking a
On
while to
real
get
things, on tangible things that matter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
When
man, that indoctrination's pretty long and hard and strong, man.
Yeah,
From
it
experience,
is.
no. I do. It's hard. Even now, being awake is hard to really sort shit out. It's all by design.
Yep.
They've
is.
done a good fucking job.
Yes, they have. The programming is strong, and their lies are well thought out. Many of them,
I'm on a video chat room. I'm
told
with
them
Max.
to take all their pill. Yeah, take their pill and put it where the sun don't shine. Yeah, a lot of these
They
things,
probably do, and they enjoy it.
yeah, a lot of these like autoimmune diseases, things we have, diabetes. Like I found this out years ago, and I'm glad to see somebody else say it. And this is being
There's a
said in
cure.
Congress, to your Senate. So I don't know if that actually has any effect, if that makes them have to do anything. In Canada, it would make them have to have an inquiry, but that would go nowhere. Probably the same thing that's going to happen here. So that's, and I noticed, I found this out when I was young, that this type of thing was happening. It was only in the past 5-6 years I figured out it was EMF radiation and dirty electricity and all the other things causing the disease. But when I was young, I used to read encyclopedias. There was one had the disease rate of these of the different countries, and you'd see these African countries without disease, and I thought, well, okay, that's because we're an industrialized country and we're polluting ourselves to death. And but that wasn't the case because we were dumping all our pollution and stuff into Africa, so they were getting polluted like hell, and they were fine, right? So it had to be something else. It was only years later, like 40 years later, I figured out EMF radiation.
Yeah,
Other
definitely.
things. Like we used to have one of those base phones when I was a kid at home, and my hands used to shake like I had palsy or something, And I think now, thinking back to it, it was that base phone. I'd be sitting there having a coffee in the morning, my hands would just start shaking, and my nerves would be on fire.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linda, microwaves do destroy the nutrition in food. 70% of the nutrition gets destroyed.
Ew. Oh.
That's why I don't have one.
Yeah,
wife-
I don't do the microwave either.
Yeah, my wife was upset with me for not replacing our old one, and I got rid of the old one, and but she's gotten used to it.
Sorry,
the only
guys.
thing she ever really used it for was reheating coffee, and you can't really cook in it. It's a piece of crap for that. And like they say, like Linda says, it tastes like shit. Or B. Freeman says.
That's
Yeah,
pretty-
so this dirty energy, I've been aware of it way back since them little curly Q light bulbs they called smart bulbs.
Yeah.
dirty energy is new to me. I just now
Yeah.
figured out about a couple months ago.
Yeah, and like our emotions, there's the lily wave that can be sent through just the power lines in your house.
Yeah.
And that's specifically designed to augment your emotions. And people are talking, and that goes
Wow.
through every power line everywhere. So they can
Yeah.
transmit a general. Who's that? Somebody get rid of that block user. There we go.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I ain't hooked to the grid.
Somebody want to try to block that for me? I'm not on YouTube at the moment.
I tell you what, I never dreamed I'd be on the grid, but I am.
What
I'm telling you what.
do you mean? The energy, like the electric grid, or?
Yeah, I mean the whole system. Like when I grew up, I grew up running in and out the city, man. And anyways, I didn't think I'd be in a city right now with a family and stuff, but here I am.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't saying nothing bad about it, but that's not what I thought I was gonna do.
Yeah, from my childhood, I was raised in northern Maine on a dairy farm. And I'll tell you, my projection of the world totally was not, what I
Yeah.
expected.
I had a pretty good projection of the world. I just didn't think I was gonna settle down and be a family man
Yeah.
and be in part of the system in the grid and use my social security number. I was taught differently and learned differently.
okay.
you know.
Kind of
But,
like
you
live
know-
off the land and stuff, or
Well, yeah, yes and no. I
a little
mean,
closer to nature, though, right?
yeah, I mean, there's ways to actually live comfortably outside
Thanks,
the
Linda.
system while utilizing the system. I mean,
Mhm.
you don't have to do what the system wants. It's just in a society like America, you are required as a husband and as a wife and having children, you are held to certain standards because you are basically in a company, and you gotta do company things and pay company taxes and dues and XYZs and the finger up the butt and swabs in the nose and shit like that. And just there's ways to live around it.
Yeah.
But when you have that sort of stuff, they have the biggest gang around so they can just come in and say, "Hey, I got this court order that's signed by somebody you don't fucking know,
Yeah,
that somebody didn't even vote for, and they've been in there for 50 fucking years with thumb up their ass and get paid and laid.
and that's the
Sign
problem.
this fucking piece of junk paper saying I'm gonna take your kids away because you
We-
didn't take them to public
Yeah,
school.
we can live out in the middle of nowhere, but they'll still come. Once they
Get what I'm
change a
saying, man?
law,
I mean,
once
it's
they
just-
put in an edict, they're going to come.
I mean, it's just it's quite ridiculous,
Yeah, and
You
right
shouldn't
now
even
with
got this
wireless,
far.
there's nowhere to go for the wireless. There are some places that are lower than others, but they're all going to get hammered eventually.
Have you ever looked into grounding, Max?
Oh yeah, I ground all the time.
Me too. I
suggest it all the time. Yeah, you should do that.
I got this extension cord, right, that goes out my window, and the plug-in's right in the screen. So, and I don't have no fancy things to do, so I just wrap around my toes and go to sleep.
Yep, I've got one on my bed. It runs around my bed. I've just got it wrapped around the bottom of my bed so that my calves lay on it.
Yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
Mm.
I also sleep under metal sheets, between metal sheets, actually.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that really helped a lot. Most people have to get up and pee a lot at night. That was the first thing. Well, the first thing you notice is when you get between them, a warmth in your chest, kind of a warm, happy feeling. And you don't get up to pee at night. You
I
sleep
wonder
right
if you can use
through.
a space blanket.
Yep,
What do you mean by
might work.
metal? Are they like all metal?
They're nickel and copper woven into plastic. I'll show you a
Oh,
piece.
okay. Wow, that's interesting.
I got a weird reaction, copper. They don't like me
You
too
can
much.
get different types.
Where are you from, Steve?
That's very expensive.
America.
That runs about $25
I'm
a yard.
East Coast
This
side
is
of it,
nickel and
up
silver,
and down of it,
copper.
right now.
It runs about $15 a yard. You can just go online and pick it up. It says bandanas. That's my bed sheets. I use it for a lot of stuff. In the winter, when they were really attacking us, I was starting to get backaches. So I have a piece that I can wrap right around my waist, tuck into my pants, and that stopped my backaches because they were hammering us with EMF radiation. Any way you can find to protect yourself, I was going to suggest now they've got EMF hoodies that have come out recently in a lot of places. I would suggest you guys pick up one. They're probably horrendously expensive, but you're worth it. It'll make a huge difference in your life. It'll make a huge difference. All the clothes, I wear EMF protective shirts every day, all day. When I sleep, I do not take them off, except to change.
It's funny because I know that we got those frequencies around us and doing it, but I'm like crazy when it comes to it because I kind of like feel it and see it.
Yeah,
so it don't bother me.
You will feel a difference. It does bother you. Trust me.
I don't know. I kind of like.
We get used to
weird.
it. That's the problem. You know how you can have an achy foot and kind of get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What if you just didn't have the achy foot? Right? And that's what I found with protecting myself was I used to get mildly ill every winter. I would just feel like crap. My nose would run. I wasn't sick per se, and I had no energy. A couple of years ago, I got. Well, you got to mute that. You got two things open.
Okay.
Okay.
What's going on?
Oh. So I would feel kind of sick all winter. And I started wearing EMF protective clothing, and that pretty much stopped. So that's why I suggest it. It's you, Edward. You have two things open. Oh,
I do?
Close YouTube.
Okay. I'll see if I can do this. Let's try it. I'm on this new phone.
You can do it.
We got it there.
I think
Nope.
so. No. Let's see. Let's see. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
two.
it's just two.
Okay.
I don't know if I got
I think they
it.
want lab babies.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
I'll close all my apps and try it again. Maybe I'm not sure how to do it, Max. Really.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
All right. God bless y'all. Anyway.
Okay.
Bless
Thanks
you,
for
brother.
showing up, Edward. Yeah, convincing people that this is happening is next to impossible. I've convinced several people that I work with that it's happening, but that took years. Where is that echo coming from? Okay,
Shouldn't
there
we
we
be
go.
able to like raise our frequency because we are frequency creatures and everything's created by frequency?
You can try
As a
that.
conscious being, can't we just raise our frequency and push it away?
That would be possible if it were constant. You would get used to it. Your body could adapt. But what they do is they drop it down, up and down so much, it's impossible to get used to. And it's so random. I do agree with the idea, but unfortunately they've already worked out a plan for that. So that's the unfortunate part. If they would keep it at a constant level, our bodies may get used to it. Like we could lower down, like once we take it back, if we could lower down the levels and keep it at a sustained level, we could get used to it. But
I mean, if we're not constantly at the same vibrational frequency, our emotions go up and down, if we could just train our mind and our body to have a constant high enough vibration that
it really is damaging to DNA though.
Is it?
Yeah. The best thing to do is there was a document that Sweet Polly sent me. I think that's called the M Wave, and he had really good solutions. Small cells, a lot of wired technology would be a lot better because we need to protect ourselves from this stuff. And we really could have done it if we had built the infrastructure that way. We could have done it easily.
That would have cost the government thousands, billions of money.
Well, they're doing it. They're doing it in Canada quite a lot. We are using a lot of fiber optics, and that saves on like the dirty electricity doesn't pass through those. There's no electricity at all, really. It's all just
it's all white fiber.
Yeah.
White.
So, which is electricity, but it's not as high intensity. It's a very low intensity.
Yeah.
So that's one good solution. There are other good solutions. Like when I was a kid, they told us that having the wireless transmissions was going to make us happy because they were going to transmit a frequency that made us happy. But they did the exact opposite.
There's a lot of truth in movies. I remember this one movie as a kid. I sat and watched my grandpa. Not my grandfather, my uncle. But anyways, it was a couple guys on a fishing boat. I don't know. It was in black and white. Anyways, they were on a fishing boat and they were sitting there talking about how they got radio waves going through the sky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth in movies, and the guy just looked at his buddy and said, "Man, they're fishing this." He said, "There's gonna be crappy brains all over the lake. We ain't gonna have no fish left."
Yeah.
And it wasn't crappy brains they were frying. It was everyone else. I think they were telling the truth right then.
Yeah.
Because they tell the truth in movies, at least down here. I don't know
Yeah.
if they do it in Canada.
There's all the decode channels. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are
some of them are good. Some of them are
speculative things.
Yeah.
Some of them are probably more truth than people really give them credit for.
Yeah, I watched one. He's kind of entertaining. I can't remember his name right. Enter the Stars. That's it. Yeah. He's pretty good. He looks for the symbology and all that.
Yeah, because they do like to enjoy playing their little games, putting symbols and keeping people running around in the maze and all that
Oh.
crap looks for the chief. You know, it's fun to them.
Yeah. That's right,
You know?
B. Freeman. They are frying our brains, literally. And they're giving you diabetes and cancer and heart problems and pretty much every you can. This is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. You can pretty much trace most chronic disease back to EMF radiation, dirty electricity. Our bodies have amazing recuperative powers, and people like us that follow the ancient teachings and try to live good lives, we have better healing systems than others, but we're still getting sick. Without this stuff, we'd be in such amazing shape. I think it'd be awesome. You know, if they'd stop poisoning us and radiating us. Huh. Just got your phone fixed, AB. Nice. Is it a 5G phone?
Hey, Chloe. Hold on.
All right.
Well, that was nice. I thought I heard cries outside, and it was nothing but laughter.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
a good
good.
feeling.
Awesome.
Get back to the subject, though. I
Yeah.
guess it's really not much we can do about frequencies except for live in a freaking metal shell, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. That's about the only thing I've found so far that really works. I bought this overly priced trinket. It had some effect, but not really a lot. Nothing compared to metal clothes. So I get these from Lambs, but there's many other companies that'll sell you EMF protective clothing. I would suggest it for everybody because you may think you're not being affected, but you probably are.
Oh,
Well,
no.
you
I
are.
believe everyone's getting affected.
Yeah.
Even people that know
There's-
and kind of try to raise their own frequency and, do everything that they need to. But
It's good to do that because that will increase your regenerative power, but you're still just fighting a downhill battle, unfortunately, and we all are. Changing our natural evolution, yeah. Well, the eventual goal is to have all lab babies, right? That's what all the elites will live a regular life, and they'll just grow lab baby servants.
that's going to be fucking boring.
Well, not for them. They get
Well-
to play. They get to play out all their little evil fantasies and whatever.
Like they're not doing now. There ain't no difference between
Yeah.
that and what they
Well,
got
they
going
want it in the open, right?
on. Oh, yeah, I got you.
Bill C10. We got Bill C11. C11 already passed. Sweet Polly. Bill C11 was the upgrade from C10. So they passed it. I could be hauled off at any time.
What? What are y'all talking about?
Oh, it's Bill C10 was an internet law. They were bringing in new regulations for our internet and stuff. So,
They come with a CCPDD stamp.
well, they didn't pass C10, so they just changed the law and like added to it and renamed it, brought it back.
Oh,
After
Kinda
they
like they
got
did.
after they got rid of everybody who was a dissenter, and then they
You get on purge.
and
You
then
got to
look,
purge and
it
purge.
passed. Look, it passed. Amazing. We got rid of everybody who didn't agree with the last one. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, they were firing cabinet members all over the place, especially
God.
like during the trucker strike and shit. Anybody speaking up for the truckers,
They got canned.
oh yeah, they got canned right away. Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, man.
So yeah, they have new internet powers. Our government does new internet control powers over your speech. So yeah, and there's still I don't know if that includes. They might have included the pre-crime bill with that. The pre-crime bill in Canada is if you said anything in the past that may offend somebody,
What?
they can take you to court, and the person suing you can earn $20,000 up to $20,000 if you get convicted. And they don't even have to be the person offended by it. They don't have to be
Yeah.
offended. Nobody
I was-
actually has to be
I was
offended by it.
traumatized by that person that got offended. I need some money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
know-
what you do is you say, that comment may offend somebody at some time, or may have. I'm going to take you to court, and if you win, you get 20 grand.
what kind of fucking shitty motherfucker does some shit like that?
Well, they've now made a full-time job for people.
That's fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now there's going to be people out there making their living, just looking for offensive things to take you to court over.
Well, the good thing about being a broke motherfucker is they can't get blood from a stone.
Just put you in jail up here.
Well,
You can be put in jail for speech up here.
fuck that shit.
Oh yeah, we're total commie. We're total commie.
Dude, man. They're trying to do that shit here. I just can't imagine that, dude.
Yeah, we're the testing ground, right?
I'm
Us
not-
in Australia.
Man, fuck that shit, man.
In Australia, you can't have an EMF meter. They're illegal.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's something like you can use, like a high school student can use to fucking do fucking bullshit with. What the fuck?
Oh yeah. It's illegal.
Dude, as an American, I'm fucking even. What the fuck, dude?
Right? That's so you can't find out the things that we're finding out.
Oh, well, no.
Right?
That's bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, it is. But yeah, they're doing it everywhere. Like you guys are getting your piece done your way. We're getting our piece, but Justin, he's right up Klaus's butt there, so he's pushing hard and fast.
I tell you what, man. I have gladly, and I'm glad I did the last few months. I just completely turned off the news. I don't watch it.
Yeah, I get my news filtered through programs I watch, or my wife.
I used to do that too, but I've just decided I don't want to hear or listen to any peak of the narrative running through at all, and see how well that does with my own personal psyche and radar. You know what I'm saying? It is actually beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Except for when you go to a water cooler and people are talking about this or that, and you're kind of like, well, damn it, man.
I can't talk to normal people.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can't relate to them. That we live in completely different worlds.
Dude, their world's inside of a TV and what they're talking about, what's going on Saturday Night Live.
And they have no idea what's really going on.
No.
Yeah, they're just lambs waiting for the slaughter, really. And
yeah, and the mess up part is I understand that fully because I used to sit right there, do the same thing with the same crap.
The biggest problem is we'll be dragged along with them.
Oh, beer!
That's the worst part.
Yeah, I know. What, baby?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to cut this off because I need to take a break before the show, get some stuff ready. This is awesome.
Well, you take care, brother. I'm going to go ahead and jump off.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Steve-O. I'm glad to have you.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to class or not, but we'll find out.
It's in 25 minutes. So
I had a nap today. I might make it.
Me too.
All right, y'all. Take it easy.
You guys have a great night. Well, or if I don't see you. And we'll be back in class in 25 minutes. Much love. Bye-bye.